Hi, and welcome to Scenario, your partner in mental wellness. Here on our channel, we share educational, insightful, and science-backed content to help you understand your mental health and take meaningful steps toward a more balanced life. If you're ready to learn, grow, and take control of your wellness journey, let's jump right in.
All right, today we're diving into something called L-Theanine. It's an amino acid that's been getting a ton of attention lately. And why? Well, it promises something pretty amazing, a state of calm, clean focus. So let's get right into it.
I mean, have you ever wanted to feel totally focused and relaxed at the same time? We've all been there, right? You need to be sharp, you need to be on your game, but stimulants like coffee can leave you feeling kind of jittery and anxious. Then on the flip side, anything that's supposed to calm you down usually just makes you drowsy. So where's that perfect middle ground, that sweet spot of being alert without the edge? Well, it turns out that is exactly the problem L-Theanine is here to solve.
Okay, so what is this stuff really? Let's get a super clear definition and figure out where it even comes from. Okay, so at its core, L-Theanine is just an amino acid. You find it naturally in things like green and black tea leaves. But here's the absolute key. Its main job is to help you relax without making you sleepy. That one unique property, that's exactly why it's become so popular.
And this comparison really hits the nail on the head. You know, unlike a traditional sedative or a sleep aid that just makes you drowsy, L-Theanine creates this state of calm alertness. The best way to think about it is like this. It just shaves off that sharp, anxious edge from your focus, so you're left feeling clear-headed and totally composed. So how in the world does it actually pull this off? Well, the science is pretty fascinating, and it all comes down to specific changes in your brain. Let's dig into the nitty-gritty of how it works.
So what's really cool here is this idea of alpha waves. These are the brain waves that are most active when you're in that state of, relaxed wakefulness. Think about when you're meditating, or maybe you're just super absorbed in a creative project. L-Theanine actually encourages these alpha waves, which helps you get into that amazing flow state. That place where you're not just focused, you're also more creative and open to new ideas.
So what does all that brain science actually mean for you in the real world? Well, it boils down to three main benefits. First, you get relaxation without drowsiness, which is amazing for handling stress during the day. Second, if you pair it with caffeine, it kind of smooths out the jittery side effects and actually improves your attention. And third, believe it or not, it can even help you get better quality sleep if you take it at night.
Okay, so maybe you're thinking, this sounds pretty great, but, and this is a big but, not all L-Theanine supplements are made the same, not even close. Before you go out and buy anything, there are a few really important things you need to look for to make sure you're actually getting a quality product.
So here it is, your simple four-step checklist. Number 1, purity and source. Is it a clean formula? Number 2, labeled dosage. Does it clearly say how much is in there? You're usually looking for something between 100 and 200 milligrams. 3, delivery form. Do you prefer a capsule, a powder, or maybe a liquid? And finally, this one is huge. Third-party testing. You need proof that what's on the label is what's actually in the bottle.
And honestly, this quote from the source material just says it all perfectly. How well this stuff works for you really comes down to the details, the formulation, the dose, the quality control. This isn't just some buzzword. It directly, and I mean directly, impacts the results you're going to get. All right, let's talk numbers, because getting the dosage right is absolutely key. It's all about matching the effect to what you're trying to achieve, whether that's just some gentle stress relief or really sharp focus. 100 milligrams is a really solid starting point. For a lot of people, this is just enough to give you a nice, mild, calming effect. It's perfect for just taking the edge off during a crazy workday, or maybe before a social thing where you want to feel relaxed, but not, too relaxed. Now, the dose you're probably going to see most often is 200 milligrams, and for good reason. This tends to be the sweet spot for a lot of people who are looking for that signature calm focus and a much more noticeable drop in their stress levels. It's especially good when you really need to concentrate. Okay, now we get to something called stacking. It sounds kind of technical, but all it really means is combining L-Theanine with other things to get an even better effect. The absolute classic stack is for focus. You take L-Theanine with caffeine. The magic ratio is usually 2-to-1, so that means 200 milligrams of L-Theanine for every 100 milligrams of caffeine. And for sleep, try combining it with magnesium. That can be a great way to boost sleep quality.
So, the most important takeaway here is that the best choice for you depends completely on what you want to achieve. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. So, let's walk through a couple of common goals to help you figure out your own personal approach.
All right, first up, let's say your goal is daytime calm and focus. You want to stay chill, but also sharp all day at work. What should you be looking for?
Okay, for this goal, capsules are probably your best bet. They're just so good for getting a precise, consistent dose every single time. And like we just talked about, pairing that capsule with your morning coffee using that 2-to-1 ratio is a total game changer for getting that smooth, jitter-free alertness.
All right, but what if your goal is totally different? Maybe you don't care so much about daytime focus, but what you really want is to unwind at night and just get better quality sleep.
Well, in that case, the strategy changes. You'd want to take a dose of around 150 to 200 milligrams, maybe about 30 to 60 minutes before you plan to go to sleep. And it's a good idea to look for formulas made specifically for sleep. They often include other helpful things like magnesium.
Okay, but what if you need something that works fast, like right now? Maybe you're about to walk into a super stressful meeting or give a big presentation and you need relief like 5 minutes ago.
If speed is the name of the game, you're going to want to look for forms that absorb way faster than a standard capsule. We're talking about things like gels, liquids, or those little ready-to-drink shots. But just a practical tip here, always check the label. You want to watch out for things like a bunch of added sugar or other stimulants that you definitely weren't planning on taking.
So let's pull all of this together into one final, simple checklist. Number 1, define your goal. What are you trying to do? Number 2, pick your dose. Probably somewhere in that 100 to 200 milligram range. 3, choose the form that actually fits your life. And number 4, and I can't say this enough, make sure you verify that it's been third-party tested. It's so important.
And there you have it. You now have the complete framework to figure out the world of L-Theanine for yourself. You know the science behind the alpha waves, you know the practical tips for stacking and testing, so really, the only question left is, which choice is the right one for your routine?
Thank you for watching Scenario. If this video helped you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For personalized mental wellness supplements, visit scenario.com. See you in the next one.